Why do you think audiences turn on content creators and influencers? Like, how does somebody go from being universally loved and celebrated 1 minute to then being suddenly like cancelled overnight? I think about this a lot. I'm a content creator myself. I work with a lot of creators, and I know it's something that anybody with any kind of platform kind of secretly fears. But I have theories about this. I don't think audiences turn on creators nearly as suddenly as it seems. I think there are a few psychological predictors of this, and I think if you are a content creator, being aware of what these are can help prevent you from making those big mistakes, and it helps keep your content authentic too. So the first thing I've noticed is something called the relatability ceiling. We don't follow content creators because they're already successful. We follow because they're becoming successful. We're invested in the journey. You know, whether somebody is building a business in public, paying off debt, writing a book, we project ourselves into that story. But then something interesting happens. When the creator reaches that goal, the audience stays in the same place, and that starts to trigger feelings of comparison. When somebody else's success highlights your lack of progress, it makes you feel uncomfortable. But consciously, you're not saying, this makes me feel uncomfortable. What you say out loud is, you've changed. Next thing is the parasocial contract. We talk a lot about parasocial relationships, but there is a contract behind that. When you build an audience of people who feel like they know you, your values, your beliefs, the decisions you would make, they feel like they can predict your behavior. So when you do something, when you make a decision that isn't aligned with the version of you people have in your head, it feels like a betrayal. You know, maybe you take a deal with a brand that people don't think aligns with your values. It's not always because the creator has done something wrong. Sometimes it is, but mostly it's because that feels like a violation to your audience. Next thing is that as you grow, your audience just changes. When you have a small audience, you're mostly reaching loyal viewers, loyal fans. But when your content starts going viral and reaching more people, you're getting access to cold audiences who don't have the context of who you are. They are viewing your content in isolation, in fragments, and it's in those fragments that the outrage lives. And then the biggest thing I think is tribal psychology. Whenever you build a tribe, a community of people who are built on shared ideas, shared beliefs, identity, ideology, you will have opposition. The same thing that creates loyalty also creates resistance. So the stronger your tribe becomes, the stronger the people outside of that also become. So if all of that is true, all of those reasons are true, what can you do to prevent it? Being aware of it helps, but I think the main thing is owning your audience. Try where you can to push your audience to maybe an email list, a Patreon, a Substack, some kind of community, because this means those people can consume your content and your ideas in context. But also from a business perspective, it just makes more sense because you're not building everything on rented land of algorithms. But ultimately, I don't think the goal is to try and prevent people from turning on you. I think that's kind of impossible. I think the goal is building something strong enough so that the right people don't. And honestly, I think that's a much healthier way to create content as well.